Hi, my name is Sergio and I am a burn survivor. I know that my audience has gotten to know my story for the most part, that I got burned when I was just 2 years old. But I feel like every time I search videos online, or maybe an algorithm shows me a video of how you would survive a fire, most of the times those videos are created by people that just searched it up online, and it almost never comes from an actual fireman, who is the best source on how to survive a fire because they literally throw themselves into the fire all the time. Now, my downstairs neighbor used to be a fireman, but he no longer lives there. So, the next best thing that you can get information from is the person that survived a fire. The video is literally called How to Survive a Fire. And who do you think survived a fire? It was this guy. All right, step one, you have to set yourself on fire. Step two, scream for help. I'm joking. Please do not do that, okay? But let's assume you are on fire. Let's assume you are now feeling the kiss of the devil on your skin. What do? Well, we all have heard this before, unless you're really young, which is one of the reasons I'm making this video. You stop, you drop, and you roll. You do not panic, okay? The reason you try to avoid panicking is because if you start running around, flailing your arms all over the place, you are giving the fire more oxygen, and you're literally fanning the flames. When you fan a flame, you just make the flame even bigger, and you make it burn even more furious. So don't run around. And I know it sounds crazy because you're literally on fire right now, but don't panic. What I want you to do is to stop. You drop and you roll on the ground. It's even better if you're on dirt, which honestly you probably won't be, but if you are on dirt, it kind of helps you suffocate the fire even faster. But if you're on regular floor, just roll on the ground. Roll on the floor because you're trying to stamp out the fire, okay? That's what you're looking to do. I didn't know what stop, drop, and roll was when my accident happened, which is why I was burnt so much. I was 2 years old. I had no idea what stop, drop, and roll was, okay? I never had that training, and who's gonna learn how to stop, drop, and roll when you're only 2 years old? Unfortunately, because I was so young, I ended up being burnt more than 63% of my body. Now, let's assume you are a third party and you're watching someone else being burnt alive. What do? How can we save that person from getting more damage to their skin? If they are already not stopping, dropping, and rolling, yell it at them. I know they're probably panicking. That is likely what's going on. Try to make them to stop, drop, and roll, because that is the number one thing you can do to save their life. And if they're panicking, what you want to do is don't grab them because you're going to burn yourself. You can try to grab some type of cloth, specifically something like wool, so that you can grab them and then make them roll on the ground. That's the only way that you can really grab them without damaging yourself too much. I know wool is flammable, but for the purpose of this, we're just using it to wrap them in it or to whack them with it, okay? That might sound a little crazy just to whack them with it, but you're literally stamping it out. One of the ways that I like to turn off candles is by using my own fingers. Is it stupid? Yes, I just do a little pinch, but I'm literally burning my fingers for a few seconds. That's what you're basically going to be doing with the cloth by just whacking them with it, okay? Don't use your hand because you're probably just going to burn your hand, which is not a great idea. Do not use anything that is plastic based. So nothing that is nylon, nothing that is polyester, or anything else that is plastic related. Do not use that because that can melt onto the skin, and that would make the situation way worse for them to be able to recover. If you don't have something that's made out of wool or cotton, don't use it. Anything natural, you can use. Anything synthetic, I would avoid using it because you can make their healing process a million times worse. Now, what are you gonna do if your house is on fire? The answer is simple. If you spot a fire and it's sizable, you know you can't just extinguish it with a fire extinguisher, yell it out, scream it out, let everybody know, alarm everyone in the house, there's a fire, and tell them to get out of the house. You can close the doors behind you if the doors are not on fire themselves. I don't want you to burn your hands on the doorknob, but if the door is not on fire itself, close them. The reason you would want to close them is because that will delay the fire from spreading to the rest of the house. Call 911, 999, or 111, whatever your emergency number is, and let them handle turning it off, okay? If you're outside and everybody's safe, you can grab a water hose and try to spray down the house, sure. As long as you're not inside the house, that's fine. But if you're inside the house, get out. That is the best way to save your life. You don't want to get in a situation where you're having to stop, drop, and roll. Because at that point, you're going to have a long healing process ahead of you. So again, if you're in a house fire, get out of the house. Warn everyone and get out of the house. And do not go back for your materialistic things, because none of that matters. You can always buy that again. You can never buy yourself a new life. And you can never buy yourself a new body. Trust me, I've had over 170 surgeries, and I have not been able to build my body to what it would have been if I never got burned. So don't go back into the fire. Now, I can't tell you to go back into the fire if someone's in the fire. The reason I can't tell you not to do that is because my own father did that to save my life. He ran into the fire naked. He literally got out of the shower and ran into the fire to save my life. I would not be here if it wasn't for a brave father running into the flames to save his son. If I had my own child trapped in a fire, I would run into the fire myself again. I would gladly get burned a second time in order to save my own children. So that's the one thing I can't tell you. Well, a fireman will tell you not to go in. He will tell you, don't go in. I can't say that because that's what saved my life. And I know that I would save my own children's life the same way my father did if they were in a fire. One of the most common ways that people burn themselves is when they're cooking. And most of the times they're just superficial burns, but everyone does the wrong thing. They always go and put ice on the burn. Don't put ice on the burn. You're making it worse. That's not what you're supposed to do. What you're supposed to do is very basic. Put your hand in cold running water. Not freezing water, cold running water. You just let the water run over the burn for 10 to 20 minutes. If you see you lost skin and you see blisters, go to the hospital. You don't want that to get infected. If it's a smaller burn, it still runs the risk of being infected, but it's a smaller chance. You could put triple antibiotic on it and then cover it up to protect it. And that's fine. Most of us have gone through that. That's the best way to handle a situation like that. And since we are already in the kitchen, if you have a pot and there's a oil fire, do not pour water on it. You will make the fire angry and it's gonna be so much worse. All right? Don't forget, what I told you when you stop, drop, and roll is that you suffocate the fire. So if you have even an oil fire, what you do is you suffocate the fire, okay? So grab another pot and put it on top, grab the lid, put it on top, just take the oxygen away, all right? Suffocate them. Act like that's a kinky girl that wants to be choked. Suffocate that. I'm kidding. Now, you should be able to protect yourself in a fire. I hope you guys learned a little bit in this video, and I hope that I'm able to protect at least one of your lives. I hope that you never get trapped in a situation where you have to use these skills that you learned from me. But if you do, don't forget the number one thing. Do not panic, okay? That will always be the number one goal. Don't panic. I know you're in pain, and I know that you're scared. You can cry afterwards. Right now, your number one goal is to survive. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for coming by to this video. Go ahead and follow me on all my other platforms. I know it's a little weird doing that little transition right there from something so serious to following me on my platform. Let's try to reach 50,000 subscribers. We're so close. We're about to reach 40. 50 is just a little bit away. And I know we can do it. And then follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Twitch. You have a wonderful day. Mwah!